All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Robin Restaino Live. I'm your host, John. Robin will be joining us any moment. Before we get started, because I don't want to forget like I did last night on Citizens United, and I felt very bad about that. Hey, Dawn says hello. How's
Hi,
it going,
Dawn.
Dawn? Hold on, I'm gonna cough. I forgot about this last night, and I feel bad about it. We have a couple GoFundMe's I want to talk about. The first one, this young man named Jordan,
Yes.
right? He passed away in an accident. The family needs your help. Funeral costs are very high. And obviously, it's a very, just think about it, sad situation, being parent, whatever. It's just very sad. Young man doing what young people do, and an accident, and he passed away. The family needs your help. If you have any money you could donate on the GoFundMe page, please do so. That would be great. If you can't, that's fine. Just share it. By just sharing it, you can possibly it'll get out to somebody who can, and then they'll be able to help the family out because you're helping them too by sharing. So either way, it is on the Citizens United page. It's on mine. It's on Robin's. I will redo it again later after the show. So hopefully, if you see it, if you can't donate, just share. Sharing will help a lot, and we learned that through Elena DePaulo. All that
Yes.
sharing, we ended up finding someone for her. So just remember, sharing is just fine. It works. Don't worry if you don't have the money to donate to this horrible. The thing is, you get these situations, and the people are in a bind. It's a funeral. They just lost their son very young, and they want, they're going to want tens of thousands of dollars for a funeral. So if you can help, that would be great. Another one we have is our sponsor and friend, Gabriella, right, Rob?
Yes.
What's her last name?
Manarino.
Manarino. Her mom needs your help. Another GoFundMe. As you can see, help with emergency funds for her mom who needs treatment. If you have any extra money at all, please consider, donating to our good friend Gabriella's mom's cause. You can read all about it too when you go to the GoFundMe. If you can't, another one, just share it. When you share it, good things happen, right? We saw that with Elena. If you share, it goes to people that will have maybe a little more, expendable cash or whatever, because not a lot of us do. But if they do, they'll put a little in, and that'll be great. And this goes obviously worldwide. It doesn't only have to be here in Western New York or whatever. So those are the two GoFundMe's that I had forgotten yesterday. Hey, Chris DeCarlo's with us.
Hi,
He, of
Chris.
course, is co-host of um, Falls Count Anywhere. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
And Falls Count Anywhere, speaking of that, he's the co-host of that great show. And with a nice new looking, look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice new looking logo. Falls Count Anywhere is really, and it's because they're doing so well. You got to get a new logo.
Yeah.
It's time to not really rebranding, but just putting out a nice new logo. Look at that. Look how great that's going to be when we put it on a t-shirt.
Beautiful t-shirts
Oh
will
yeah,
be available. Yeah.
yeah. Wait till that comes. That'll be great. So Falls Count Anywhere. That's our co-host is in there watching with us, Chris, and thank you. So a lot of things have gone on, Robin. I don't know. What do you want to start with tonight?
Well, let's talk about last night's show.
Okay. Well, last night's show, we had a little recap of it. If you guys watched, it was a heavy, heavy show on survivors. It really
Yes.
was. It's one that we haven't done in a while, and we do it every so often. We probably have to do more of it more often. But it was a heavy show about survivors, about victim type, how victims get intimidated into not coming forward, not speaking, let alone coming forward, just even being able to speak words. And it's really messed up. It was part of what we were saying is because those people are the victims and they're shut down, which is unbelievable. While the person who is the scumbag gets to run around doing whatever they want, saying whatever they want.
Yes.
So it's really messed up. Money talks and the people get screwed because the victim maybe doesn't have enough money, but the scum does, and then they have the lawyer that can shut you down. But there's no lawyer going the other way as they're out there slandering the victim that they already hurt. So that we had that discussion. Um, what else did we talk about last night? Oh, we talked about politics last night. We had a little discussion on why people aren't voting, if
Yes.
you remember, and why there is right now, today, a primary and no one cares.
Right.
Could care less. I could care less. And I'm very political and I don't
Right.
care. It
Because
doesn't matter to me.
why would we care when nothing is ever any different?
Yeah, and look what we got. Higgins against some guy, I don't know who the hell it is. Um, I don't know. I just don't care. I really don't. Um, whatever Republican's going to run against Higgins is just a sacrifice. So they'll just get buried.
Right.
And Tina, hey Tina, how's
Hey
it going?
Tina.
And thank you for that. We have so yeah, there's a primary today. No one cares. I'd love to see. There probably no one voted. I can't imagine. They've had early voting. I can't imagine that there are some places that probably didn't even have 50 people turn out to
Oh,
vote.
I can yeah.
But I will say this. I said this last night on the show. To the defense of the people and the people that are called apathetic and everything else, it's also there is no change.
Right.
No, it's not A and B. It's A1, A2, maybe.
Right.
It's it's one because I like an R and two because I like the D, whatever. You
Yep.
get my point?
Yep.
It
And it
really,
goes both ways.
oh, it goes both ways, and it could be any color. It could be any one of them. It does not matter.
Right.
Like, so you would definitely be going there to vote just because you're a party, and of course it's a primary. So, you know what? And screw your primaries too. I'm tired of their primaries. Who the hell? I wouldn't vote in a primary, and I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I'm not capable. I don't
Yeah.
want to vote in your primaries because what is it? What's my choice?
Right.
Again, Democrat one or Democrat two. Republican one, Republican two. I could care less. You're all going to do the same thing you've always done, and that's fail, like the big failures that these parties are. And if you're here in Niagara Falls, New York, and Niagara County, I say it a lot. You don't have to go far to see the failure. And I don't know why anyone would ever get in. I don't even know why anyone would even, unless you're looking for, something. I don't know why anyone even gets involved with them.
Right.
Unless you know what I mean, like unless you're looking for something, why would I ever donate to them? Why would I ever do anything for them?
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's basically where we are.
Uh-huh.
No one's doing anything because of the good of anything.
Right.
No one is doing anything because I'm here the good of the community. They're not.
No.
So
And the parties are dividing us in a way that I don't think I've ever seen anything else divide us. I think the parties are more divisive than race or religion or any of those things. I think people will, leave their church before they would leave their political party.
certainly their husbands or wives
Yeah. Yeah,
or
well,
kids. I mean, yeah, no, the political parties, they know what they're doing. It's another one of those systems that is made this way. Because when you have people back in the 1700s telling you, be careful when these two parties become so big that the people that are in charge of them, are there for their own reasons, and it's a whole different way they spoke it. Um, they warned you about that, and some 300 years, whatever it is now, 200 some years later, it's coming to light. It's happening
it is.
right in front of your eyes. So, yeah, I don't know what more people need to see before they realize we don't need these. We don't need them. We shouldn't need them. Who needs to have parties to tell you what to think
Right.
and or just to give you choices that you have no choice?
Right. Do you think that this is leading down the path to a civil war?
No, I will never go that far yet. I don't believe that. I No. If
No.
I have to just give you a yes, if it's a yes or no answer, I'm saying no. I don't think there's enough people that are that engaged for that kind of a thing to happen.
Right.
We're not even engaged enough for the things that everyone should agree upon. For example, uh, making it tougher for these pedophiles to, you know, anything like with that.
How
Think about
about
it.
yeah, how about agreeing on keeping the Child Victims Act?
Yeah, hold on. We can't. We can't agree on that. That's what I mean. So think about this subject.
Right.
Because the people that are involved are the ones that are involved are the ones that have already drank like the poisoned Kool-Aid.
Right.
They are so in the tank
Yes.
that even though ones that know that these two parties are scum can't break away.
Right.
They
Yeah.
know it. They know their failures. They know it. They can't break away. They will just instinctively go right to the Democrats are better.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? And I
Right.
watch it. I watch it.
Mhm.
I listen to it. I got people. I got a guy I know who sends me some private messages, and it's always one-sided. And I keep saying, you don't. To me, it's both.
Right.
They're both. What are you saying? I
Mhm.
don't want to push Democrats to go to Republicans. I don't want to push Republicans to go to Democrat.
Right.
I want to push them to
Everyone
nothing.
to go away from the parties.
Go to no
Yeah.
party and kill the primaries. I don't
Right.
care.
Yeah.
And just end it. But that's how I want. That's what I want. That's my feeling. Whether it's ever going to happen or not again, who cares? Because that's what I want. But yeah, probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
I mean, if we went to that way of thinking and that way of doing things, we would actually be voting on the issues for a change, the things that we actually care about instead of just
the
automatically.
issues, the character of the person,
Right.
literally.
Right.
Because you see these people, whether it's Democrat or Republican, if you're a Democrat and the Republican did something, you'll jump on it. If that same thing was done by a Democrat, you won't.
Right.
Vice versa, same thing.
Yep.
So it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't know why everyone is okay with it. It's similar to what we talked about last night in a lot of ways, to the different laws and the different statutes and limitations. Hey, Dominic, and all
Hey,
that
Dominic.
stuff. The same thing. No one has. Why is there not a loud voice of people, a majority saying, "How about term limits?" Everyone agrees there should be term limits for the senators and everybody else.
Yes.
No, it doesn't happen.
No.
There's no civil war coming. You can't even get it. Why? About what? What is it gonna be that's going to cause that? Nothing.
Right.
Because if this doesn't, how much do you got to be proven that both the parties are failures? I just don't know what more you need to see. Just go look. If you live in Niagara Falls, just go look at your water bill.
Right.
Go look at your garbage fee. Go look at all, and then go up and down the streets that were there. They are the problem,
Yes.
and we will never, ever, ever verbally, publicly do anything about it.
Right.
We may whisper it to each other, but say it and keep it. There just has to be. That's the movement that's needed, I think, someday, because I think when the politics and those two loser parties became what they should be, then things like D'Angelo here and all these other because all of it is politics.
Right.
The laws are political. The judges are political. The lawmakers are political. Your sheriffs are political. Everyone's political. Your chiefs are political. It's all politics.
Right.
Is the root of the evil of everything that goes on. As I said before, they have actually perpetrated more crime on America than anyone or any entity in
Yes.
that's ever been around.
Yes, I would agree with that.
They have hurt more people. They have destroyed more lives. They have killed more. They have caused more murder and killing than any other organizations that have ever been in the United States. They are really a problem, and no one wants to dare do anything about it.
No.
So, whatever. I mean, but don't get on my case about voting. Screw it. I vote every time, but I don't care no more.
Right.
And I don't care about their primaries. I can't vote on them, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, someone's going to prove that you do not need a party to win.
Yes.
And it will happen. It will happen. What do you want? What else we got? Or what do you want to talk
Was
about?
there anything else about last night's show that you wanted to touch on before we move on?
I thought you did. Did you have something about stuff last night? I got nothing. I thought you had something.
The only thing that I just wanted to touch on from last night was some of the victim shaming that we were talking about, and why the predators aren't treated the same way that the victims are.
Right.
Even when someone's accused of this, they're treated better than the person who was victimized.
Right.
Like this, the system is never in favor of the victims.
I know. Right. Yeah.
The the DA doesn't want to pursue these cases. Um, and I think people just want it to go away. And the best way to do that is to shame the victims and stop more people from coming out.
That is the playbook, it appears. When you add into the fact that you have these statutes of limitations that are a joke, um, New York State proved it. When they opened up the Child Victims Act, look how fast they couldn't wait to close it.
Right.
They couldn't have been, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, hey, Noel,
Hey, Noel.
they they could not wait to close that act. They could not wait for it to be over. Now there's an Adult Victims Act. Have you noticed you don't hear anything about it?
Yes.
No one's talking about the adult. There's an Adult Victims Act right
Mm-hmm.
now
Yep.
that you can go back as an adult
Right.
and do the same thing.
Right.
Love it. That is
And I'm
great.
sure that'll go away after.
As soon as that's done,
Right.
that's got to go. There's no appetite for it.
And yeah, as we were told,
There's no appetite for nothing, by the way.
They don't take into account the processing time for victims. Like,
I don't care.
people don't.
They think it's like when your garage gets robbed.
Yeah, most people
Right.
don't get raped and then go and report it. I mean,
Right.
it just doesn't happen that way. And if people don't start realizing that it's happening to adults and to children, mostly from people they know, mostly in maybe
But it's bad situations.
right.
When it ends up being your uncle, or it ends up being, and I'm talking adult. I'm not even talking just children. Or it ends up being a coworker, or it ends whatever it might be.
Right.
It's a bad situation.
Right.
That has so much like ramifications, I guess, for talking.
Right.
For saying something. Yeah. Why?
And so much. I mean, there's so many things that you go through. The blaming yourself, the not recognizing it. I mean, there's just so much in the process of a victim that isn't recognized. And we write these laws almost to prevent, like, to say, like, okay, we're going to cut it off right before they're going to realize.
Yeah, that's what happened. And when you think about it, that's what the statutes of limitations are at.
Yeah.
That's exactly, they are at the perfect spot.
Right. We're going to put them right at the spot where you haven't quite processed it enough to go that extra step yet.
There is no question this wasn't a mistake. Because if it was a mistake, they try to fix it.
Right.
And they don't want to fix it because whenever it's been brought up to them, they think you're nuts.
Yeah.
When you say, hey, can we do anything about the statutes of limitations? They look at you like you just said, I don't know, there was going to rain fire tomorrow. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this, I can't even say that right now. So I can't even, I will wait to say that. What I was just going to say, I can't say it right now. But because I know I have to be generic.
Oh, yeah.
So generically, if you look at, like you just said, you make a good point about these statutes. The people that have made the laws, the people that are enforcing the laws, and I'm not even talking about the police, because I got to tell you, a lot of times, and this is my opinion, the police, if they do make the arrest, certainly aren't the ones that are going to convict you. That comes from a different place. Right. And that's the district attorney's offices. And I keep bringing up Deshaun Watson. That was a perfect example right in your face of how the women now that were assaulted by him have to deal with it. And he is so bold that he's saying what he's saying.
Right. I stand on my innocence.
And then you realize what that district attorney did with his attorney. You got a window into it right there. You know what I mean? And it's happening all the time.
Yep.
And not just here in Niagara County. Obviously, that was down in Houston, I believe.
Right.
So, yeah, it's Nothing is a mistake.
No.
Nothing. Because if it was a mistake, I'm telling you, they would have an appetite to fix it.
Sure they would.
They had an appetite to end those acts, end that Child Victims Act,
Oh yeah.
because I read about it. I read in one of the New York newspapers, how many of those assemblymen and senators were getting so much heat from the Catholic Church, from all these different that were, always supporting them.
Right.
They couldn't wait for it to go away.
Yeah.
And they told me right out, ain't going to happen ever again. So
why do you know why they even did it in the first place?
I really don't know. It's a good question. I mean, it's the one victory for Governor Cuomo.
Yeah.
Hand it to him. He's the one who pushed it, because without him, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Why in the world they ever agree? Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, but he's the one who I give him credit on that. Where
Yeah.
credit's due.
Sure.
And the adult victims one. So you would think good old Kathy Hochul here might want to do something about this.
Yes.
And reinstate this. Let's do it. This should be an all-time thing. What's the difference? You're giving lawyers a lot of work.
Right.
Why don't you think about that? They're your law. They must give them a lot of money. These lawyers.
Right.
I'm sure the lawyers give them tons of money.
Sure.
Are we worried about the court system? Are we really worried about the courts being backed up? It was only backed up because of COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, I'm sure it'd have been. It would have worked.
Right.
COVID killed made it difficult. That's why it sucked. That's what's so funny about that. In the middle of all that going on, here comes COVID.
Right.
Right.
Well, the other thing is too, I think if victims knew that the act was going to be there, I think they would be able to do it in their own time. I think because there was an ending window and everyone knew it,
right.
Everyone that was able to put in their cases all at one time. Whereas if it was just the law, things would come in more evenly too.
Think about the people we've talked to in a little bit here recently.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect example for it.
Perfect example.
And that would be a whole different story than what goes on now.
Right.
Because now, at least with the Child Victims Act, at least the victim had the opportunity for their confrontation.
Right.
Now they did what they did, and we know a couple cases right now that can't get that.
Right.
They cannot get that. They actually are going to get told to shut up or else. Well, right. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Shut up or else.
Not only shut up or else, but shut up or else, and I'm going to shame you, and I'm going to try to.
Yeah, I'm going to make you run away.
To do everything I can to make this is even more to re-victimize you. Now, not only were you victimized, but now you can't come forward and tell your story because
we're not letting it. Yeah, we don't want to hear it. Because it's going to hurt somebody's career.
Right.
Of the person that got, the rapist's career.
Right.
We're very worried we've always been worried about their wallet.
That's what I mean. And why don't victims get that consideration? What if the rapist's career? What about the victim's life?
Yep.
It's everything. It's their career. It's their family. It's their mental health. It's their everything.
All the way to the day they die. Some never, ever, 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 right?
Yeah.
Some people take their own life.
And nobody ever really finishes dealing with it. It's never over. There isn't a point where it's like, okay, well, good, that's done now. All right. Woo. That's one thing off my list.
It wouldn't matter what happened.
No, there's always daily reminders of it when you're a survivor. So what about that? Why don't we take that into account when we're worried about somebody's reputation or their career or
right?
Why aren't we more worried about informing the community and keeping people away from these predators?
Keeping people safe. They don't care about that. That's the sick thing.
Shouldn't that be like job number one?
Sure, for all of them. For your, not just the police, that should be for your lawmakers, your judges, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should want to make you'd want to keep people away. There are people out, this is what's sick about the civil thing, and I said this to you before when you went through it for your one thing. There is a group of people out there that know this person is a deviant sex offender and nothing's done about it.
Right.
It's been made a way that can't be said. So then the people all living around them are just up for grabs.
Right.
So
Yes.
What kind of system is that? I don't know. It's not one that works. It's not. It's never. Well, it works for them.
Right, but you're not alerting the
No,
people. I
care
mean,
less about the people.
yeah, the safety of the people should be the number one concern, and we're letting predators walk around, and
Day
we
all the time.
and we know it.
They know it. There are the court. They know it. They know it because if they've been brought to civil court at any time, right?
Hmm.
They know it. They know what they've done. These people have admitted what they've done, and no one can do anything about it.
No,
They would be at the highest level of sex offender.
right,
They are whatever, and no one can know.
right.
They set it up to the way that no one will know.
Unless a victim themselves is as courageous as somebody like Noel has been, and just goes on their own mission to get the word out there. Other people are there's no one looking out for our safety if we don't look out for each other's.
Yeah, it's sick. It's really sick. It's disgusting, like Tina said.
It
That
is.
was there you go. That's right. It's disgusting. It doesn't make any sense. It's just it should be enough to get people upset,
It should be.
but it don't. It really don't. They're all happy the way it is for some reason. They're fine with it. Well,
I mean,
you must be.
you even put a statute of limitation on a child being raped.
Yeah. Yep. They don't even make it. That's what kills me about it. If you listen to someone talk about someone, oh yeah, he likes younger. He likes yeah. They say it almost in a way that
Right.
there's no one's like, oh my god, what? It's just like,
Right. No, it's
no,
very
no, yeah,
dismissive.
yeah,
Very like, oh yeah, well this goes on all the time because it does. It
it
fucking
does,
does.
and they're good with it. They're
It's
good with it.
happening all the time, every day, everywhere, and we are just looking the other way.
Yep, surrounded by people that have done this, and no one can ever know
Right.
because it's built that way.
Right. And the people who
So
aren't doing it are so close
thank your,
friends.
you know what? You know what we should do? And this is where politics get into it. Thank your assemblyman, thank your senator, thank your everybody. Go thank them.
Right.
Thank your congressman, thank them because they're the ones that could start a movement to change it. And guess what? They don't want to.
Right.
No appetite, as we
No.
were told.
Yeah. We were told right out.
Right, right. And I was glad. Thank you for telling me right out. I'd rather
Yeah.
be told right out than told anything else. And there was no appetite.
Right.
All right. The appetite gets something though when God forbid something happens close to them.
Oh yeah.
Then there's an appetite.
And
Then
that
everyone's yelling. So
and you know what?
and you know what? Let me say one more thing. And it has happened to those that are lawmakers. And it's so messed up and ingrained, they couldn't even do anything about it.
Right.
You know why they can't do anything about it? Because the community of people are the ones. The whole group, the whole state, the whole county, the whole whatever should be the ones that are leading the charge to make sure. Because guess what? If enough people in this county or in this district or assembly, whatever, said what we're saying, they would change their mind
Yeah.
and at least try to push the issue.
Right. Right.
But they know damn well that that's it.
And I also want to call bullshit on all these people who say, "Oh, if it was my daughter, if it was my
Stupid.
son, if it was my."
Fuck that.
Guess what? You don't. First of all, you don't know that until you're in that position, and you're a fool if you think that taking yourself out of the life of the person that is affected would be the way to go.
You know what else is disgusting?
And I also want to say I think it's an insult to people who care about survivors and who go about it in a reasonable way. People like you, people like the Del Zappos, people I could name a million people. You know what I mean? But people who support the survivor and realize you can't go as much as you want to go kill those rapists, you can't. That's not what's that going to do?
How about when you have an elected official and other elected officials make that statement that if it was my kids, if it was my granddaughters, if it was my, but do you realize how terrible that is? So they're telling you that they don't care about the other people. They only care about the themselves. It does not matter to them if anyone else gets hurt. It only
Right.
matters if it's them.
Right.
That's a lawmaker saying that to you. That's a law. That is what you have heard. You've heard it from a couple of them.
Yes.
They have said this.
Mm-hmm.
That is damning enough.
Yes.
To probably make a move and make some changes, but they won't. Because how the fuck what they won't do it.
Because if they're not doing it, they're not willing to call out their friends who are.
Right. It just boils down to that. It boils down to being a high schooler.
And you know what?
It really does.
Just like everyone knows someone who was a victim, everyone knows someone who's victimizing someone too.
And you just don't know it because we're not allowed to tell you. But you'll know who the victim is, but you'll never be able to know the victimizer. Right. The predator.
Right.
No. And if you do, you better shut up. Because you don't have the balls or the guts to go confront.
Right.
So that's what you get. That is what you get. We got to take a break. We're halfway home. So when we come back, what do you have any ideas what you want to do?
Yeah, let's talk about Sal Magley.
Sal Magley Stadium. All right.
And we'll start with that.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. About 2.5 minutes. Be right back. All right, welcome back. Thank you to our sponsors and all the great shows that we have lined up here. And remember this: if you are maybe you're not someone who uses YouTube much, but Friends with the Z Media Network is our new YouTube. So if you are somebody that would go to YouTube at any time, even if you're going to watch our shows on Facebook, that's cool. Just subscribe for us. It's always good to get a subscriber.
Yes, please.
So yeah, check out Friends Media Network. We got to thank Tina and Chris DeCarlo.
Yes.
As their son,
I was just going to say Christopher.
Done a great job, and we appreciate everything he's doing, all the hard work he's doing.
Oh, my God, yes.
Because without him, I don't know if we'd have.
Yeah, I don't know. We would have.
I don't know what would be going on. And remember, like us on Facebook, too.
Yes, please.
I'm going to read a couple comments that have come down. Burdette Hayes is here. Hey, Burdette.
Burdette.
Noelle says this. I like to read what Noelle says. She says, yes, that literally makes them look and sound worse. That's basically that what they're saying. Unless it's happening to them or their kids, they can give a fuck less about anyone else.
Yep.
Yet it's tough when it's coming from a lawmaker. When it's coming from a lawmaker, that should be a real problem to everyone that hears it. And I've heard it now 3 times from 3 different people that hold 3 different elected
And
things.
they've done it. They've said this publicly, right? This is something that they've
Miles put it out on Facebook. Morinello said it right on our show,
right.
and the other one did not.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there you go.
It's disgusting. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't. I can't respect that. You can't say that. That's just it doesn't work. It's not. You can't
And
tell
you know
me
what?
that.
It's only going to be a
And it
matter of time.
and you know what else?
That's the sad part. And there's people out here trying to tell them that, trying to stop it from
And they
happening to
listen.
their kids, trying to stop them from having to go through what other
But
people have gone through. And they have the nerve to then say things like that.
but guess what? You know what else might not happen to them? A tree root might not block up their sewer.
Right.
They might not ever need to have the cement in the front of their house redone. You know what I mean? They might
Right. They
never have
might
that.
not have potholes
They
on
may
their
never
street.
have anything like that, but they will get to them.
Right.
Guess what they won't get to, right?
Yeah.
All right. Sal Magley Stadium, a place that I've always loved, and you too.
Yes.
Um, I played sports in there, which was cool in high school for Niagara Catholic. I love the place, the Rapids, the Pirates, the White Sox, the whole deal. Um, Robin, what do you know?
Well, there's a $1.4 million contract to do some work to the stadium. The money's coming from the American Rescue Plan, which is the COVID funds that were received. Um, the grass field is going to be replaced by artificial turf, and there's an assortment of other stadium upgrades um, that I think are
The
great.
clubhouse, I think the lights.
Yeah, a new backstop, fencing, foul poles, scoreboard, flagpole, bullpens, batting cage, concrete walks, paved access drive, and a stormwater management system
Nice.
are all the upgrades. Now, I thought it was interesting. Uh, as far as the city council goes, Tompkins, Bax, and Zajac all voted in favor of this. Miles abstained, and Spanbauer was out of town. Um, Miles questioned the potential return for the city and said that he'd like to see it be more accessible to city residents and other organizations. And I actually have to agree with something the mayor said here, which I hate to do, but I have to do it when he's right. And the mayor said he doesn't view the stadium as a revenue generator, but a public asset.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And
It
and that
doesn't need to have access. I don't know what he's trying to say, the councilman,
right,
because
because it has plenty of
no, but what do you mean? You're just gonna have kids run out on the field and play?
right.
Or it's gonna be a playground? I don't get what you're trying to
Yeah,
say. I don't want the high schools in there. They have their own place.
right.
Niagara Falls High School has their own. They had the opportunity to do that, and they destroyed the place, and they made it look like a circus by ripping down the facade, which sadly, there's no money going to that. I wish they were fixing how it looks from the outside because
Right.
it was beautiful.
Yes.
It had a beautiful look to it. Remember, a long time ago, before they painted it tan, which I didn't like, it was that baseball green.
Green, yes.
Looked almost like a mini, kind of, you might want to say, um, Fenway Park, but not really. It was more like an old football stadium, but it looked really cool. And it looked like that. It had that look and feel to it. Remember?
Yes.
It also looks like Ivory Wind Stadium that's in Hamilton for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Kind of, because it's a football stadium. It's a football stadium. It's not a baseball stadium.
Right.
It's originally a football. You can tell by the seating. It's a football stadium.
Yeah.
And but it had that look to it. When you saw it, it felt like football. You know what I mean? It felt like you're going into something that was more than a playground.
Right.
Or Diamond 3 at Hyde Park.
Exactly.
Or even the nonsense they got going on at the high school.
Yes, it was one of the best things the city had.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Burdette. They spent a lot of money. High school spent $5+ million on those fields, and when they got Sal Magley Stadium, they tore it down.
Right, and they
to do nothing. It looks stupid.
Yeah.
The front of it looks dumb.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I don't know what that is. It's the coloring is stupid, blue and yellow. I don't know what the hell. It's horrible. I wish they would fix the. If they're doing what they're doing on the inside, great. Of course, I'm for that. But the outside, why can't there be something for the? Let's really make this look like a stadium and not like some kind of some kind of art project or something.
Right, right. It should be a baseball stadium.
Baseball and football,
Yes.
it should be. Um, it's a place for. It was a place for football too. The curb appeal's terrible, and it used to be beautiful. If you go back and look at the old pictures, it's unbelievable. It looked like War Memorial Stadium. It had that look to it. Okay,
Right.
like you're coming up here, and we know what's happening.
Right.
This is going to be baseball, football, whatever it is. We're playing in here. This is going to be real stuff.
Right.
We're not there for to play on monkey bars. We're not there to have little league. We're not there for any of that. We don't want little league in there.
Right.
Little league's got enough places. High school's got enough places. That has to be a place of. I mean, think of the people that played there.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. And then they tore it down the front and made it look like just I don't even know what that looked like. I still don't understand what the hell they did. Because when you go inside, it's still got the feel. When you get inside, this stuff it still has that feel. There's still a little bit of it. They couldn't take it all away.
Right.
But what they did down the lines, how they put that seating was terrible. Absolutely horrible seating now.
Yes.
And so that was but there's nothing we can do about that, I guess. But I wish they would have put something into a little bit of the cosmetic part of that. I don't understand AstroTurf, by the way, either. I'm not getting.
Yeah.
That's a humongous field. Are you telling me the outfield's going to be AstroTurf too, or is it just the infield? If it's the outfield too, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. From what I read,
think about the size.
It just said the grass field.
The infield, maybe, but I cannot see how the outfield can all be. It'll be humongous. It's gonna be like freaking that field. If you ever got a chance to be on that field, is huge. I played out there. It's enormous. It's 420 feet. It's 360, I think, down the lines or whatever the hell it is. I mean, I know they pulled them in a little bit, but holy cow!
Yeah.
How could you? You're going to do the entire? No, it can't be. It can't be. If it is, wow. I would have taken that. I'm telling you, I would have gone half just on the infield because a lot of places do that. I see it in the Long Island Stadium with the Long Island Ducks. The infield is that way, where they had just the out because you got to have pads to be able to slide.
Right.
You can't do it like they did in the softball,
right?
Field where it's like the dirt part's really AstroTurf because that's asinine. You can't play real baseball on that.
No,
you can't even play real softball on that. Honestly, you're supposed to be able to slide.
Right.
Hold on, we got some questions, things here. Burdette says, I don't even remember what it used to look like. I'll have to look at pictures. Yeah, I know. Look at pictures, and it's beautiful. It would take the whole 1 mil. Yeah, it could. I'd put more into it. I would do less as far as this AstroTurf thing. I'm curious if it's the whole field. I think it's. I don't know why you would do that. It's not an out. We're not playing football in there anymore.
Right.
So why in the world would you do that? Why would you would have your outfield would be grass. It's easier to take care of the outfield grass than it is to take care of, the infield is the problem.
Right.
The outfield, you're cutting the grass.
Right.
That's it. It's a riding lawnmower. It's out. It's done. The infield, you got a manicure. So now if you put turf in there and stuff, it is the little dirt cutouts.
Right.
So that does help. Dominic, it's political. Shake hands, kiss hands, shake babies. They would tell their grandmother to get votes. Yeah, and it's sick. You're right. Burdette, they might have enough after for paint if they're lucky, right? Yeah. And it looks terrible. It looks terrible, the outside. It was a beautiful stadium that, like I said, if you looked at that, you could really remember who played in there.
Right.
You could remember those old Rapids teams that had MLB players. You could remember that Johnny Bench played because it would look like that. Jorge Posada played in there. You had, and now it just looks like some kind of a foolish high school park.
Right.
But they have their own park. So whatever. All right. I'm curious to see though if it's the outfield. I'll be shocked if they're doing the entire outfield.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Right.
The infield, yes. The outfield, no. It will cost. I can't imagine it is. Think about. There's no way. There is no way that it's the outfield cannot be being full turf. It
Yeah,
would be. It's the same. That field is like Yankee is bigger. I think it's bigger than Yankee Stadium. That outfield because of the infield, because how right field is at Yankee Stadium.
right.
There is more. I think there is more
Yeah,
land out there than
I
there
think
would
you're
be at
pro-
Yankee Stadium or at Fenway.
I think you're probably right.
I'm guessing that is similar to Oakland. Like
Yeah,
it is humongous out there. It felt too big playing high school in there. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm glad to hear it. I do agree with the mayor on that, on what he said. I think Councilman Miles there. I don't know what he's getting at. Accessible for what?
right,
I don't want to see any, and there should be no carnivals in there. There should be no festival. If you're going to do this, you keep that bullshit out.
right,
There's none of that. You don't bring that stuff there. There's no concerts in there. There's no nonsense. People aren't just going to walk around. No more. No more of that stuff. Um, if you're going to do this and throw turf all over the place,
right,
keep it in the parking lot if you want to do that shit.
right,
But if you're going to try to respect the field and do what you're trying to do, don't have that. I don't need to see cars in there and also their nonsense
right.
and bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Robin?
Let me go to something national for any of my
Oh, a
folks
little national. Okay. A little
that,
national talk.
that
That's
might
always
like
fun.
to, yeah, hear what we have to say about what's going on beyond Niagara County. Um, which one do I want to go? Let's talk about student loans.
Student loans. Okay. Go ahead. Tell me what's going on with student loans.
All right, so there's a decision expected to come as soon as tomorrow from the White House. Um, and what I'm hearing is that they're leaning towards forgiving up to $10,000 per borrower of federal student loan debt, and the forgiveness would be for those making less than 125,000 a year.
Okay. So if you make more than $125,000 a year, they're going to give you 10 grand.
You know, if you make more, you're not getting
Okay. So
anything.
who's getting 10,000?
Anyone who makes less than $125,000 a year
Is getting 10,000.
would get 10,000, would be eligible for up to $10,000 worth of student loan debt relief.
What's up with the forgiveness? What was that?
Also, there's something that's expected to expire tomorrow. The federal student loan payments set to expire. I'm sorry, August 31st.
Okay.
Due to COVID, there was a pause on most federal loan payments since March of 2020,
Right.
and that's set to expire on August 31st. So there doesn't necessarily have to be action, but if there is no action, that will expire and the federal loan payments will be due again.
You do again.
So
Okay.
two separate issues there, both having to do with student loan debt. And I want to hear first off what you think about the White House perhaps forgiving up to 10,000 per borrower.
Well, 10,000 per borrower. For first off, I paid mine and it was substantial. As you remember,
Yeah.
I was paying for it forever.
Mm-hmm.
I might have paid for it for freaking 15 years. I don't know how long it took.
Yeah.
They were good to me because they took into account, they made a plan.
Right.
I didn't kill myself paying it. So that's why it took me forever. But still, that was nice because you had little kids and all that.
Right.
Um, you know, I don't see this as being something that should be this is one of those ones that I don't feel like why it's even a topic. You get my point? Like why? Why like these are ones like these are if you if you took out your loan now, but you knew it was a loan. You knew
Right.
you had to pay it. You see what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't a surprise.
Right.
Like some things are a surprise to people. Like when they had those horrible mortgages. Remember way back in the housing crisis?
Yes.
That was a little different, right? That was people getting tricked or fooled.
Right.
And all of a
Yes.
sudden, instant rate, you're just getting, you shouldn't. This here isn't that way. If I got myself a student loan, I knew it was a loan. I got to pay it back someday. So I think you pay it back. That's how I've felt about this. I mean, you pay it back. I mean, I
See,
don't know. I paid it back, and I mean, I myself wasn't wealthy. aren't wealthy. And how I paid it back was I told them, hey, this is all I got. They're like, oh, okay. And you paid little bit at a time, very little. It was very little. I don't know. I don't see how, if you start doing that, then it's a hell of a precedent, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they capped it.
Burdette, by the way, says terrible idea. You refund those that dropped out or didn't apply themselves. Okay, Burdette. Robin, they
um
capped what? The 10,000 you're saying?
no, they capped it at $125,000 a year. So I kind of like that because I think people who a lot of times pay a fortune for an education and then get out into a market where they're not getting paid what they're worth maybe could use a little help. And the people that are who have tried to better themselves by getting a college education and still get out there and can't make $125,000 a year, which is,
But
sounds like a lot of money, but to raise a family, it's really not
right.
all that much. And yes, they did agree to take the loan. So I'm not saying that if the government went after them for the loans, they would be wrong.
But going
But
after them is a strong word because you can make the arrangement with them. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's not like it. Unless things have changed, I'm assuming you can make that type. They can't take blood from the stone, They can't take water from a stone. So if you don't have it, then you can do $10 a week, $10 a month, $40. You can do that. Chances are, if you graduated from college, you're working. Most likely.
right.
Whether you're not getting paid what you're worth is another story. I've never been paid what I'm worth. So, and I don't think a lot of people do, normal people. What I'm saying is, I think there's ways to pay it. Are we forgiving the entire loan?
No, just up to $10,000.
Just up to $10,000. So if you went to a 4-year school, that's not going to forgive it.
No, that just helps you.
Look, I don't know what to say. If you took the loan, if I took a mortgage, and then next thing I know, you remember how that went down. I understand. And I felt like those people everything should have been paid for them because they got screwed.
Right.
I don't know if I really got to refund the doctor or the lawyer who's not paying. What if they're not making 125? What if they're not yet?
Well, then they're probably doing something
No,
good.
no.
They're probably working in a place where maybe they're not. Maybe it's an underserved area, and so the doctors that are working there are making less money. Maybe we can bring it locally. Maybe somebody gets an education at Niagara University, which costs a fortune, and wants to stay in
Private
Niagara
school, though, I
Falls.
don't think that will even count.
If you take federal loan, sure it will.
Will it?
Yeah,
To a private school?
sure.
Burdette says even with the 10K, the person still won't pay back the remaining balance. That's very possible. I don't understand why we wouldn't work more towards still paying the loan, but in a way that you can do it. It's different if you're telling me they're destitute. If they're homeless, they have nothing. I get it then, okay? But you're talking about people that are going to graduate from a university. They're going to be able to pay something. I didn't graduate and I was able to pay something. And I paid it until I finished. You know how it was done.
Yeah,
That can be done. So why can't that be done?
I don't know. I think it was a hardship when you paid it.
Well, I didn't let it be a hardship because I called them and said it was a hardship. And then I sent them in the forms when I said they sent me back. And I said, and here it is. And then they came back with an offer. And I'm like, well, I can only do this. And then they were like, okay, great. I remember doing the paperwork because I did file that it was a hardship for me because at the time, shit job at a factory, my own fault. I didn't end up whatever. And then we had little kids. So you get my point?
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with this as far as the country. I mean, because so everyone that takes a student loan from here on out gets 10,000. So just knock $10,000 off the price right off the bat and then get your loan. Do you get what I'm trying to say then?
I don't know.
I mean, I know you don't probably know the particulars like
Yeah, I
that.
don't know
Right.
if it would affect loans going forward or if it's just forgiveness at
Hold on.
this point.
Burdette's got some stuff here I want to read. No, don't
Eh,
worry, Burdette. Keep giving
Yeah, keep.
comments. It's a simple fix. The company that requires the degrees pay or reimburse the employees by paying the bill.
That's a good idea, Burdette.
Interesting.
I like that.
That's probably a better thought than, and that goes to this other thing. A lot of people, and this was said to us earlier, have the money to pay, have the money to, that's a really good point. Why not? Why not? Why not Amazon doing that? Why not Geico?
Right.
Why not all these places? That would be a whole hell of a lot different than the
Well,
federal government doing it.
I know a place like Geico does offer that. When I worked for Geico, they would, well, not exactly like that, but they would pay for any future
Right.
classes that you wanted to take. They would
I
once you were
guess
there a year, I think it
I
was, they
guess
would
I'm in the
reimburse you.
mindset is that if you took the loan, you know what the word loan means. It means you got to pay it back. And unless you were duped into it, unless you were faked, unless it was, like they did on the housing crisis thing with the mortgages, I don't understand how you don't. You, I don't know what to tell. I don't. It's like if I get the car loan and I don't like, I have to pay it or give it back. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here. You can pay as little as you can afford.
I guess if that's true, maybe
It's
I'd
true. I
feel.
did it. Maybe if that's true.
What I read didn't say that.
What did it say? That you're just,
No, that people were having their checks
well,
garnished.
yes, they'll be garnished, but that's because they're not getting in touch. They're not calling and saying yes, they're garnished after they've been paid for 6 months. But there comes a point where you're getting letters in the mail that's saying, hey, you're not, you're behind 3 months. You have to then call them. It's a hardship. You fill out the form, you send it back, they send you back, and there's a way to get it done. You can't tell me that they're not doing that anymore. I'd like to know. That's insane.
Yeah, I'd like to know
I
too.
would guess, well, they were doing it in from 1994 till 2006 when I paid it off.
Right.
I was paying as little as I could because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, but you were paying a decent amount.
As I got more, as my jobs got better,
Yeah,
well, because I could handle it then. It wasn't a hardship.
but it was a
But
hardship.
no, it wasn't a hardship because if it, Robin, it was not a hardship because if it was at that point, we could have lowered it.
I don't. I think we were as. I don't think we could have lowered it anymore.
There was a point where I was paying like $20 a month.
And there was a point where you were paying like $100 a week.
No, I don't think I was ever that high. I don't think I ever paid that much.
It was
$100 a week.
close.
Might have been might have been 50 something, close to 60. I for some reason I envisioned $58. Sure, I didn't want to do it, but what am I going to do? What else can I do?
I mean, I just think.
What about credit cards? Can I have them forgiven?
I just think.
What else can I
I
have
just.
some? Can I have some medical bills forgiven, please?
I think medical bills should be forgiven.
Hold on, let's see what we got. It's like credit card. You use it, you owe the bank, you owe it back. Kim or debt. I've had to file hardship on a loan before, and they let me go interest free with no payments for 90 days. Just made my loan longer, but I still paid it off without penalties. I do believe there's ways they will work. There's gotta be.
I just think it's different than a credit card or a car loan. Like, I think you get a promise of something with an education, and if you don't get that,
But how do you know that the person's applying it? Like, how do you know that? How do you know that the person didn't get what they were promised? They're promised a 4-year degree, and then they are promised, sometimes they have job placement type stuff for you. I know they did it on you, where they could help you
right?
get a job. I don't know what you're promised other than the paper that you get that makes you supposedly better than the person without it. which isn't bull. You know how that is. It's not really true, but you get my point.
Right.
Makes you eligible for jobs that I'm not because you have the paper.
Yes.
There's certain jobs I'm just not eligible for. We're more than qualified. You might be more than qualified for, but you're not eligible because you don't have it. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I think they're not going to do anything about it tomorrow. I think it's going to just expire.
What about the other thing though? The $10,000.
That's not happening.
You don't think?
How? Doesn't it got to go through the House and the Senate?
Yes.
It's not happening. It could go through whichever, but it won't go through the other.
I think.
If that's the way it's got to go, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? There's no chance.
Right.
I don't know. Interesting though. Good topic. Way to go.
Yeah.
What else, Robin? We're getting close to the end of the show.
All right. Let me just give a quick little.
We got like a minute. No, we don't. We got.
Oh, I'm gonna say. Well,
Yeah, I'm
what do you
shutting
want
it
me to say
down.
in a
Yankees,
minute?
Mets are on.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Okay. I was just gonna give a little update on President Trump. I know we talked about the Mar-a-Lago raid. President Trump has filed suit against the U.S. government, and the suit seeks to prevent agency officials from inspecting certain materials that were seized without third-party oversight. Also, the suit seeks to return any items that were not within the scope. And I just want to hear what you think about the suit and whether you think that this. I mean, I know I personally think that this just makes President Trump even more sympathetic and that the Democrats just elected
I
him.
said last night to Jerry, I think it was off the air, that it almost feels like they do it on purpose. It almost makes me feel like you can't be that dumb politically to do this to Trump.
Right.
You have now made him a cult hero even more than he was. You've now turned him into Ruby Ridge. You've now turned him into where the FBI, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have grown his mystique.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder sometimes. I keep saying these two are miserable, rotten organizations. They are terrible organizations. They are scumbags, okay? Not the people, I'm not talking about the people that identify as Democrat or Republican or whatever they do or whatever. I'm talking about the upper groups, these people that are the party bosses. They know what makes money.
Right.
Donald Trump makes the Democrats money.
Yes.
Big time. Big money. They've scared the people. They've scared people into thinking he's, whatever.
Yeah.
He makes them huge money, and he makes the Republican Party money. He makes them all money. He makes the network TV money.
Oh my God.
He makes
yes.
everyone money by his mere existence, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that same thing about hate him or love him. You're going to find out what he's doing.
Right.
There is full networks on hate. There's full networks on love. There's some that try not to be either, but they're bullshit too, right? And you got a party that is built on hating them, and another party that is kind of built on loving them, but there's some that still fight back.
Right.
I don't know what to think of this that's going on, to be perfectly honest with you. I've become so skeptical of these people, which call themselves Democrats and Republicans, that I'm not sure if this isn't all on purpose. I don't know. And I'm not saying that even Trump would know it's happening,
right.
that it's on purpose. I'm not saying he's in on the ruse of it all. I'm just saying that you have made it to where you've made him sympathetic.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think there's going to be some Democrat, alleged liberals, the normal ones, that are also going to look at that. It's the same ones that said certain things that happened way back when with the FBI and guns and all that. There was ones then, Bernie Sanders, that said it was wrong.
Right.
There's still people out there that they're going to be shocked that think what happened is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, and they may not be vocal. It's not going to be those that are on TV anywhere, because if they come on TV, they're going to get shut down. But go look at what Tulsi Gabbard says.
I was just going to bring her up.
She should be president.
She should.
I would vote for her. There's someone I would vote for. I'd vote for her in 2 seconds. I would go there happily to vote for her. But she'll tell you that she's someone who believes about healthcare like I do and stuff. There's
Yes.
certain things she believes that those that other side would never, but she damn well knows that that was wrong. What happened? She
Right.
knows all this stuff is wrong, and that's why
Yes.
the Democrats basically told her to get lost.
Right.
So they have done nothing but make him a bigger martyr, and that has to be on purpose. They can't be that dumb.
Right.
You just can't.
Because there was no need to do things
No,
the way they did them. I mean,
to the president,
yeah.
to the expert. Come on.
Right.
Why wouldn't you have gone and attacked Hillary's bunker?
Right.
Why wouldn't you have gone in there with guns blazing to find the modem or the fuck it was,
Yeah,
or the hard
the
drives and the
server
server? They didn't do that.
and the smashed up phones
Let
and
me get Burdett in here. Look at CNN. Now he's out of office and they are down near about to close the doors. Yeah, and they told CNN. It's funny what they told CNN. Did you see that?
no.
Basically, you might not like what we're going to do now. Like almost telling them there might be a shift here. Interesting. Um, if he shuts his mouth, he would be great, and I would vote for him. But if someone with his ideas and policies, I would go that way. Integrity. I all I know is this: what they did there is calculated. That wasn't just some FBI age or some FBI director saying, "Let's go do this."
Right.
Everyone knew what was going to be done. Everyone knew what's going to happen next. Everyone will be getting rich off of what happened there.
Oh, the
Everyone.
fundraising.
They are all they're fundraising right now here in Higgins and the stuff with whoever Palladino's running against, that Langworthy guy. They're all making huge money because now they're trying to out Trump each other.
Right.
And Romney's giving money to Langworthy, and then Matt Gaetz and these people are going towards the other guy, whatever his name is, and Palladino, and they're all just saying, I'm the bigger Trump supporter. Look at the money that's going around.
Yeah.
And you just were right before this election, they do this.
Yeah.
Right before this election, they do this, which how much I'm sick of it. This country's a bunch of fools. These and you've been perpetrated. They have perpetrated crimes against you, those two parties, and you don't care. And I don't know why. But I can see why, because we can't even get people to agree on raping children.
Right.
So of course. Gaetz is a shoddy. What's that? Gaetz is a shoddy dude.
Shady.
Shady dude. Don't. Oh yeah, Matt Gaetz. Kim Guthrie. They are trying to pin everything on Trump, which is ridiculous. They don't want him to run for president. That's why they are doing this. Biden is destroying our country. Trump did great, from my opinion. Oh, sure, that could all be true. And my gas prices were lower for sure, and my food and all that. But I don't think this stuff gets done for out of reason. I don't think they care if Trump's president. I really believe that I think there's more Republicans like Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney that are more in the tank to keep him out.
Yes.
I think Democrats know they have no choice. And I think eventually they just embrace it because they make more off of it.
And not only that, but they think that if President Trump comes back into office again, that they're going to elect a Democrat the following in 2028.
And if not, who cares?
Right.
They don't really care. That's my point of all this. I don't think they really care. And I'm talking the upper echelon. I'm talking the establishment pig. I don't think they care. Because if you're in the minority, you're going to make money. If you're in the majority, you're going to make money.
Right.
If you're on the side of Roe v. Wade that is upset about it, they're going to fundraise on this for the next 40 years.
Right.
Just as though the Republicans did for that many years. It's just money. You can see it. You don't really need to, you can see it. Why is it that when these parties have full control of the House, the Senate, and the president, they don't do anything?
Right.
How does that happen? Why is it that why is it that they need to have a villain? Both parties need a villain.
Right, because it fundraises.
I'm done. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, well, we got to talk about a few things. The YWCA, 716-433-6714. That here is here in Western New York, Niagara County, Western New York. They're in every county in the United States. Please, if you've ever been hurt, um, sexually assaulted, raped as a child, as an adult, and you're having a hard time dealing with it, please call. There are counselors standing by. They are great. If you call them right now, you'll talk to that same counselor probably that Robin talked to and sat on the couch and got counseled for days as she talked to you, professional, free of charge. We had dealings with advocates. Robin went to the police station. The advocate came with us to make sure everything was going to be okay, that they weren't going to be, weren't going to be rude to her, mean to whatever. And they'll go to the hospital with you. They'll go anywhere with you, court, whatever you need, the lawyer. That's the YWCA. Human trafficking, 888-373-7888. Please, that's going on here, right here in Niagara County, Western New York, and in your county, wherever you are. If you see something that looks like that, please call. It's totally anonymous. It's not like you're making a false report. And we got to get a handle on this human trafficking and the sex trade and all that crazy stuff. A lot of children, adult, everyone's getting hurt. So let's really, please, that number is there, 888-373-7888. And the last number I'm going to bring up for the night, now I should probably bring down that number, is this one, 988, Robin, Suicide and Crisis
Yes.
Lifeline. If you're ever in that crisis mode and you're feeling this way, if you can, please, and you have no one else you could talk to, and you need someone anonymously to talk to, maybe you don't want to talk to a friend, maybe it's too much, you don't want to talk, you know what I mean? Anonymous might be good at that point.
Yeah.
They're there every day, all day. And please give them a call. They don't call your employer, they don't call the police, they don't do nothing. They're just there to help you silently. And these people, you want to talk about angels, you know what I mean, on earth.
Yeah. Oh my
These
God.
people are working there and they don't even get paid.
Right.
This is all volunteer work. So please give them a call, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Oh, Don told me to feel better. Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I feel all right.
No, you don't.
No, I know I don't. No, the hell's the difference? All right. Robin, you done?
I am done. I'm ready to watch the Yankees
Yep.
and to eat.
All right, me too. Why don't we get out of here? We'll be back next week with another edition of Robin Restaino Live. Don't forget, Friday night, Goal Getters with myself. I believe Julio's back. Scott, myself, and Julio. This show, by the way, thank you to the viewers. We've had over 2,300 views last week. I have to tell you, I have to thank everybody. Beautiful. Thank you for watching. Falls Count Anywhere, another one. 2 o'clock every Saturday. Great interview this week with Mr. Dombrowski, an announcer, all in the business, young guy. It's an outstanding interview. Chris DiCarlo, Charlie Turner do a great job. And in another week, Jumping Jim Brunzell. If you are somebody who remembers wrestling back in the 80s and stuff, you remember the Killer Bees. Well, we have one of the Killer Bees with us. Isn't that incredible, Robin?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. Citizens United, of course, me and Noel will be back on Monday, 6 o'clock. We are over 250,000 views.
Yes.
For the time of our show. So we've passed the 250,000 mark of views, and we're headed towards 500,000.
It's incredible.
So hopefully we hit that, and someday we hit 1 million, and then we will have a big party. But when we hit 500, I think we're going to have a little party on air. We'll have a party that night.
All right.
And
it'll be fun.
Hopefully everyone will join, because 250,000 views is pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is.
So, and everyone that's involved, everyone out there that watches, it feels like it's not a show for just me. It's not just me and Noel.
Right.
Or you, or whatever. It's like a big, we've grown, that show has got a community behind it, which is really cool.
It really is.
That we've grown, and everyone in it is great, and everyone that watches, you're all great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, for your comments on the message board.
See you next week.
Yep. We'll be back.